Hi guys, Ryan here again from Scalar Energy Pendants.com. I just wanted to run through a quick FAQ of questions people have been asking me, just wondering about these pendants. So I'm just going to run through them really quick. So the biggest question I get, and I understand it, makes sense. People are concerned something can have this kind of beneficial effect. Is there any potential danger? And I'll let you know right now, based on what I've experienced, testing, everything, there's absolutely no dangers with these pendants. I have a certificate from the manufacturer proving that there's no toxic levels of any metals contained within it. It's up to the highest standards of any production manufacturing of these pendants you can find anywhere else. As well as that, I actually have something called a Geiger meter, which I'll show to you right now. Let me go grab that, and it's right here. And this, if you haven't seen one before, basically tests the level of radiation. It can go through magnetic, electric, radioactive. So I like testing a lot of things all the time. It's probably one of my biggest hobbies, you could say, to a fault almost. And as I go over it, there's nothing going on. Let me see. Actually, the only reason it was going up is because I was coming close to the camera. So no, it's like not, it's basically stuck at 1 the whole time because it's surrounded by EMF sources like we all are at all times. So watch, I'll pull the pendants away. It's still stuck at 1, so it's nothing to do with the pendants. It's just whatever's around here. I'm not sure because it's the camera. Well, anyway, so there you have it. That's the Geiger meter test. And so they're perfectly safe. It's very similar to if you're used to healing stones, healing crystals in general. Same idea. You know, there's nothing to really be afraid of. A lot of those things too, if you were to muscle testing, you probably find you get quite a few unique benefits from those as well. So the next question I get quite often is regarding bathing, and if you're able to bathe with the pendant or swim with it. And yes and no, I like to say, because yes, you can absolutely do that. The pendant won't wear away. It's quite sturdy. There's no issue with that at all, in fact. And the only problem being not so much with the pendant, but the string itself, which if you don't mind, you know, you can swim with it. And over time, I found if you get the string wet and then dry, wet and then dry, it starts to wear away. So that's the only issue. I mean, of course, replacing the string can cost you like $1, so that's not even a problem. So beyond that, really, if you're swimming, you know, especially if you're out swimming in a lake and you have it on, you know, you don't want to lose it. That's the only thing, really. But as far as getting it wet, there's no problem at all. I actually wash mine every so often because I do believe that helps in some way. Well, they say for a lot of different types of healing stones, it's good to wash them every so often because if they are, you know, in fact, pulling in these negative energies, it helps to cleanse them. And on the same token, actually, if you were to go outside and leave it in the sun for about 4 hours, every so often, they actually recommend it. Not that the pendant loses power, but by doing so, you actually give it more of a charge. And I found that to be true, actually, when I've left it out in the sun for about 4 hours and put it on, not because it was warm. I mean, even once it cooled off, I found I just had this extra boost from it that it didn't give off naturally. And then it will normally just kind of drop down to its normal level that it gives off. So as well, I've got the box here just in case you wanted to see. That's how it comes, with the authenticity card with the number that does match the pendant as well. I don't know why this video is so dark. I really apologize for that. Just the lighting. Turn on every light in the room. Camera still can't seem to pick up the light. Well, so there you have it. That's the box with the pendant. Besides that, oh, how often can you wear it? You can wear it all day if you want. That's not a problem. I typically take it off when I go to bed because I find if I wear it, I'm not going to sleep for whatever reason. Just the energy it gives off. It could be the negative ion effect as well. I find as well the effect, to me, works best when it is touching against the skin. I do believe that the energy it passes on is more effective, you know, on surface, on skin contact. If it's just hanging over a shirt, it still works. but that's just me. I find it does work more effectively when it's touching skin, and when it is directly touching skin and I'm trying to sleep, I really have trouble sleeping. And I do believe it's because of the negative ions, because I recently bought a negative ion generator which puts out an awful lot, and last night was actually the first night I had it on while trying to sleep, and it took me at least 2 hours to fall asleep, and I finally did eventually, but I was tired. There was no reason for me to stay up. It was definitely the negative ions, which if you're not familiar with, can keep you up because they give you so much energy, whereas the positive ions will give you headaches and drain your energy, and most electronics out there will give off positive ions, such as TVs, computers as well, which is a big reason why people have fatigue, headaches, and just feel grumpy when they're around all these EMF sources. So there's a lot going on around us that we don't really realize. So that's that. If you want, you can wear it. Some people wear it to bed and they find they heal faster, they feel better. That's just me. So there's no real 100% sort of style of wearing it. You can wear it as often or as little as you want. Interesting note, my brother recently, he'd been wearing it every day. He was perfectly fine, and then he stopped wearing it for about a day, and then he was going to some kind of event, and he was already feeling kind of so-so. He wasn't feeling that great, and he hadn't been wearing it for about a day. Prior to that, he said he was perfectly fine, and then he went to this event, and go figure, he was around a lot of different people. He got sick, he came back, and he's looking for different things to make him feel better. I told him to put on the pendant, and within like about 2 hours, he said his throat was starting to feel better. So that's just one account. I've heard a lot of interesting stories, and my own too. I haven't been sick once since I started wearing this. Normally, I used to get sick quite frequently, even after I really, started getting the hang of alternative healing and a lot of different, natural things you can do for your health. I would still get sick, at least probably 1 to 2 times every year, guaranteed. Definitely at least once. And it's been well over a year now. I haven't been sick once, and the only thing I can figure out is this. It's the only thing. I have hit those points where I kind of felt like my energy was getting kind of low, but I would never really crash, and that's why I tell people with this, it's not so much that it's boosting your energy, which it does do, but it's more that it prevents that burnout level of fatigue from affecting you. So for those who are already dealing with adrenal fatigue and chronic fatigue, I really can't emphasize enough how much the pendant can potentially help. I can't make any medical claims for anyone, but I do personally believe anyone who's dealing with issues regarding fatigue-induced breathing issues, or fatigue-induced just anything, really, across the board. It's really amazing for what I can do for that. So the other thing people are always wondering about, which I know I've probably mentioned already, but just want to say again, it does have the serial number right there, you can see. So serial number also matches the card that comes in the box. The makeup of the pendant, if you're wondering, it's a combination, actually. It's which I only found out recently. I did originally believe it was 100% volcanic rock. That's not true. It's majority volcanic rock. Actually, an estimated about 70 to 80%, because they don't like to give away the actual exact mixture. But there's also some tourmaline powder. Tourmaline is another healing stone, if you're not familiar with it. Very good for grounding. A lot of other benefits as well. But the reason they put it in here is because they found the effect of the tourmaline combined with the volcanic rock create an additional charge that was already there to a certain degree naturally in the volcanic rock, but by adding in the tourmaline, it emphasized that. So what you have is additional negative ion output. And that's really the only reason it's in there, just to amplify those negative ions. However, the scalar energy is already naturally present in the volcanic rock, which is in here. So essentially what you're looking at is just a volcanic rock. They've melted it down. They've added in the tourmaline powder. They basically make a mixture of it, and then they simply press it into a form, into a shape, which is this pendant. So really nothing super special about it. I know there's a lot of people talking about how unique the process is and all this, and really it's a lot of people liking to I guess they want to talk about how unique or special it is. To me, I mean, it's like any other healing stone, that isn't in its natural form. They have to basically break it down some way, and then if they're forming into a jewelry, they have to go through a certain process, which is necessary for anything like this. So that's all there is to it. It's very nice though, and you know the job they do is quite nice, and it's a decent sized pendant. Like I have I guess a somewhat larger hand, so that's how big it is. I have a lot of kids who have worn these. No problem at all. Actually, kids, if you're not aware of, lately in schools are having lots of issues, at least here in Canada, with kids having issues with EMFs. And because there's no grounding anymore, everything's done with Wi-Fi, and there's Wi-Fi throughout the whole school. They're finding, I think it's about 20 to 30% of kids are showing symptoms related to EMF issues. And again, I can't make guarantees on health claims or anything like that, but I would highly suggest giving this to them in that case, because typically once they start wearing one of these, and of course reducing as much as they can their exposure to EMFs, but they should start feeling better. So, okay, so the other question people always give is, why is it so cheap? Why are you selling so cheap compared to these people selling for hundreds of dollars? And, well, to be honest, the better question to ask isn't why is it so cheap, but why are these guys selling it for so much? As I explained, the process of this is no different than if you took any other healing stone, healing rock, and then had to basically melt it down and then create some form of a unique, pendant or form of jewelry, and that's all they've done here. So there's really nothing mystical about it. The whole healing effect is entirely caused between the tourmaline stone in here and the volcanic rock. That's all there is to it. There's no charging of it. I know there's other pendants and things out there where they say they charge it, and that's fine. I've tried those. To be honest, I personally prefer the one that actually has the rock in it. The other ones, I'm sure they work fine. In my muscle test though, I went through somewhere around 30 different designs. About half were the rock one, like you see here, and the other half were like stainless steel metal ones. And throughout the entire test, I think with the exception of maybe one or two that were also in the top 10, all the other metal ones were at the bottom, and all the ceramic ones with the actual stone were at the top. And ironically enough, in that test I did, I had 3 of these mixed in. They're all in the same packages, so I couldn't see what they were, and I was actually having my friend hold them, so I didn't know based on the weight what each one was. And with my eyes closed, after testing about 30 of them, guess what the top 3 were? Yeah, all 3 of these. It was really bizarre. I wish I'd filmed that, because that I don't know. I'm sure if I did it again, we spend some time, I'm sure I'll get the same result or something very close to it, because muscle testing can be very accurate. It's really difficult to say it's 100% because there's so many different possible variables that can go into every single test. But if it's done correctly, it will show signs of something that will benefit you, such as the pendant. So then, getting around to that, as far as muscle testing goes, if you have any questions, send me an email. It does take a bit of time for some people, and it's not a battle of strength or wills. It's more of a test of resistance. So you find out where their resistance is at, and then you try them again with the pendant, or say with a cell phone. If you're at home, you can actually hold a cell phone in one hand, have someone push your arm, or push your hands behind your back, and you'll find you fall over really easily. Your arm goes down very easily with very little resistance. So yeah, give that a shot. If you're at home right now and you're wondering about this, just grab a cell phone and have someone muscle test you. Watch the videos on my main page of my site, and you'll be amazed. You'll get really weak, and then you'll find when you put one of these on, you'll no longer have any resistance issues to the EMF source. And in fact, on top of that, you'll actually find you're stronger than you were initially, even with a cell phone in hand, by wearing one of these. And of course, I'll finish off mentioning again, I do have the 60-day money-back guarantee, which covers absolutely everything. All I ask is that you ship it back to me in the same condition that it came in, if possible. I've had virtually no returns. I've had just a couple cases, and actually they're pretty much either in one case, the person was extremely skeptical to begin with and didn't want to believe it. They only gave it about 10 days, and because they didn't feel some profound change, they basically said, okay, that's enough. Which I gotta mention, like, it's not, for some people they do feel a lot, they're very sensitive, but for others, it's not going to be that profound, mind-blowing experience that some expect. So just, you gotta bear with it. Sometimes the effect is so subtle that you might not notice it, but it is working. Believe you me, it does. And then in other cases, it was just, actually one other case, just the woman was kind of surprised why it was working so well and actually scared her. So that was pretty much it. So I'm running out of time here. Hopefully I've explained everything. Let me know if you have any other questions at all. Check out my Scalar Energy Pendants FAQ if you have any other questions and you want to find some answers.